Hello, gorgeous. Now, it's time to play. Hi, I'm Chad, and welcome to another episode of Mediocre Wheelies and MotoGP. Today's episode, we are talking about the French Grand Prix, which just took place on Sunday, May 15th, 2022. So if you haven't watched the race yet, go out, watch it, come on back, and we'll talk about it down in the comments below. But first, let's talk about the results. Enea Bastianini back in first spot. Incredible race by him, fantastic charge despite an early mistake that ran him very wide and I believe off the track. Surged back through the field and came out on top. And then we had Jack Miller, my boy Miller, Thriller Miller, second place. So happy for him. I was hoping he was gonna win, him or Aleix, but I mean, pretty good result. About as good as it can get aside from that, because Aleix was in third. So incredible stuff from those guys. And Fabio Quartararo, of course, who had a very tough race, did not get a great start, finished in fourth. So big surprise for me was Pecco Bagnaia crashing out. Bastianini got in front of him and it looked like he cracked, unfortunately. I also really like Pecco a lot, so that definitely bummed me out to see. Great guy, working really hard there on that Ducati. Was working hard to get back in great form. Won the last race at Jerez. It was a bummer to see him end this one in this fashion. Also really surprised to see Joan Mir crash out of the race. Very rare for him to crash on his own accord. And Alex Rins, whew, that was crazy seeing him go off the track that fast. He was going at least like 130, 140 miles per hour. So he's very lucky to have walked away from that. He was going very fast when he went off the track and into the gravel. Luckily, the gravel slowed him down, I'm sure, but man, he still had to have been going at least like 80, 90, maybe even 100 miles an hour when the bike hit the ground, and he along with it. Definitely scary to watch. Had some other fallers, Raul Fernandez, Remy Gardner, and Miguel Oliveira. Brad Binder was the only KTM that finished the race, and he did so without the winglets on the left side of his motorcycle. Really impressive stuff there. But we know if anybody's gonna ride in a weird situation and perform well, it's Brad Binder. Still, that was crazy just to see that whole incident at the start of the race. Him and Zarco making contact. The whole start of the race was super dramatic and very exciting and nerve-wracking. Seeing Fabio have to fight his way back through the field and just, oh man, heart was in my throat the entire time, just everybody going nuts. But they all handled it because they're the pros. But awesome result overall. Very happy for Bastianini. Second season in MotoGP and he is just killing it. That was his third win this season already. And of course, super happy for Jack back on the podium. Super happy for Aleix as well. Aprilia is looking like a real title contender this season. All wheelies are performed in virtual reality, of course, a very realistic computer simulation of the real world in which we live. So what does this mean for the championship? Well, Fabio Quartararo is now only leading by 4 points from Aleix Espargaro, who is only 4 points ahead of Enea Bastianini. So early on in the season, we've already got a three-way title fight It's looking very close. I was really hoping Pecco was going to claw back some points this weekend, but unfortunately he scored 0. So barring any crazy circumstances with any of our 3 main title contenders now, it's going to be extremely difficult for him, or really for anybody else, to make some good headway back into the lead for the championship. Alex Rins is next closest in 4th place in the championship at 69 points. So really, again, just speaking to the kind of volume of the situation here. Fabio's got 102 points, Aleix has 98 points, and Enea has 94 points. So Alex Rins would need to start winning like every race, or really anybody else would, to be able to fight in that title, so long as the other guys are finishing in the top 5 or 6 places. I'm super pumped for Mugello in 2 weeks. That's going to be a great race. My money is going to be on either Pecco or Bastianini for that race. I think it's a track that plays to both of their strengths as well as the Ducatis. So it will be very interesting to see who ends up taking the top spot there. Now, let's talk about some rumors in the paddock. Well, I guess one of these isn't really a rumor anymore, but the fact that Suzuki is trying to exit MotoGP at the end of this season. And we started hearing those rumors just after the Spanish Grand Prix at Jerez, and to be honest, I didn't want to believe them. It's great to have a variety of manufacturers and teams in MotoGP because it just makes things that much more interesting. One of those core manufacturers leaving the championship is a really sad thing to see, especially after taking the world championship in 2020 with Joan Mir. It's like, that really confused me. It's like, oh, 2020 we're world champions, 2021 we're not world champions, 2022 we're out. It's a bummer, but I guess you gotta understand, right? It's very expensive to race in MotoGP. The bikes are expensive to build, the people are expensive to employ, the riders are expensive to contract, and I don't know about in the rest of the world, but here in North America, I don't really think Suzuki's doing so hot selling motorcycles. It's very rare that I see any newer Suzuki on the road. And I don't think they've really done anything to incorporate any of the technology that they've developed in MotoGP since they updated the GSXR 1000 back in 2017, I believe. So that's 5 years not putting any of that technology or experience to use. And it's sad to see that they haven't prioritized that. It does look like there's a lot of interest in privateer teams and other manufacturers fielding additional bikes in the championship next year though, so don't think we'll be seeing any vanishing grid positions or fewer riders on the grid. And it sounds like Honda might actually have their eyes on Joan and Alex, so at least hopefully they'll be able to find a good home when Suzuki exits. Now the other big one for me specifically, because I'm a Jack Miller fan, you guys know this, he's a very likable guy, very honest, very down to earth, and I can just relate to him. But he has a 1-year contract with Ducati for this season. So at the end of the season, unless they renew, he's out. But it sounds like KTM is very interested in him, and there might be some conversations going on already. So if I'm being honest, I'd prefer to see Jack stay with Ducati if he can, just because Ducati has proven that they have a great machine and team, and I think he's probably going to be more successful there than he would at KTM. But at the same time, he's got to do what's best for him, and if that's roll on over to KTM, I totally respect that and will remain a fan. Nevertheless, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season unfolds, what goes on, who takes the championship, where riders go at the end of all this. Very exciting stuff. What did you think about the race? How do you feel like the championship is shaping up? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's talk about it. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would sincerely appreciate it if you gave me a gentle little click of the like button and considered subscribing for more motorcycling content, discussions, and tomfoolery in virtual reality, such as this. Check out some of my other videos too if you're looking for something to watch. I club race at an amateur level, starting to get a little bit faster. Just recently put a new front brake master cylinder on my Daytona 675R race bike. It feels good. I'll look forward to talking with you in the comments down below. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll hope to catch you in the next one. Until then, later.